Good morning. Short week this week. So maybe that's why it is no coincidence that we have what seems like one of the easiest virtues, courtesy. Just be polite to each other. How simple can it be? But man, those simple virtues become some of the most challenging. And every virtue, as I spend time thinking about the virtue and what it means, really comes down to us not being selfish and us not making it about ourselves, because we are very good at making it about ourselves. We're making everything about ourselves, right? Because this is where I live, right? I'm right in here in this mind. That's my focus. That's what I'm worried about. It's easy to become absorbed in that and become unaware of what's going on around you. But the virtue of courtesy is really just about acknowledging the dignity that we each have because we are created in God's image. The thing that we have to remember, we are special. Yes, we're special. God created us. But sometimes we think we're a little more special than the people around us. And we have to remind ourselves that they too are made in God's image. They are as equally special as us. So what does this look like in our day-to-day? In our day-to-day in middle school, maybe especially during this Thanksgiving week? A couple of obvious things. The first thing I think of is lunch, the lunch line. We want to get down there first. How many of you walk a little faster than normal on the way to lunch? I'll be honest. Speed walking. Like some of us would be really good at that Olympic. I think it's Olympic sport, you guys. This could be your calling. Speed walking right down to lunch, breaking into just a slight jog, but I'm not running, but because I want to get down there first. Because why? Oh my gosh, I think the cafeteria runs out of food all the time, right? No, they don't. Do they? Have you ever absolutely had to sit down with nothing? Like maybe a glass of water. They're like, sorry, you didn't make it down here till the end, so all you get's water today. Has anybody ever had that happen? No. So we know we're going to get fed, right? So what is it that makes us want to get down there first? Because we're so worried about ourselves. I want the best place. I want the best options. I want to have first choice. Oh my gosh, you guys. Is that what Jesus has taught us? Don't we hear something about he who is first shall be last? We're so caught up in that, and I am as guilty of it as anybody. When something comes, if a tray of cookies comes out, let's be honest, are we looking and identifying that one cookie that looks like the best? Oh, I want to get that one. It has the most chocolate chips in it. That's how I judge a cookie. But it's all about myself. And that really is, if we think about any virtue, the opposite of it is our selfishness. And that is the exact opposite of the message that we are given by Jesus. Jesus is the exact opposite of selfish. And we are reminded of that every time we come in the chapel and look at the crucifix hanging at the front. That is not the image of selfishness. And so while we are not asked at this moment in our lives to do anything nearly of the gravity of what you are now gazing on at the front of the chapel, can we just maybe not worry about being first to lunch? Man, that seems pretty insignificant, doesn't it? Can we maybe not worry about being the first in line when someone's passing out treats? Can we maybe not worry about being the first person to say what we want to say because we're pretty sure that we've got it all figured out and we know everything and we want to share that with everybody? Could we just hold back? Very simple things. Or is it? I would say it's not. I fight the same battles, you guys. Have you ever been in a lunch line and you're looking at that platter of food, not at school, and you're thinking, there's not going to be any left by the time I get there. Like, we're very worried about that, right? We're very worried about ourselves. And this week's virtue of courtesy is put others first. And do so with kindness. So the thing is not only to maybe in the lunch line let somebody go ahead of you, but do it with a smile on your face. Not like you're being some kind of martyr and suffering, but instead being polite. Polite is really a good synonym for courtesy. Remember that your words, your manners, your behaviors are how you are showing what you think of the dignity of others. Think about that for a minute. Just do a little self-reflection. How are you doing with that? If God were going to judge us on how we respect the dignity of others, how am I doing with that with my words, with my actions, with my simple manners? We can think about it at school with classmates, and I get it. You're going to have people that annoy you, part of the story of life. But I think God just gives us those opportunities to practice the virtues. And also, in this wonderful time of life that you're in, think about it at home. How do your words, your manners, your body language, how does that show the dignity that God has given to your parents, your siblings? That simple eye roll that maybe doesn't seem like a big deal, that speaks volumes about what you think about the dignity of somebody else. And so this week, this short week, let's really focus on how we are treating others with our politeness, our courtesy. That's the virtue. And then we only have 3 days of school, but then at home at Thanksgiving, the Thanksgiving meal would be a great opportunity to practice courtesy. When they say, okay, food's ready, are you going to be first in line? Or could you allow somebody else? Those little tiny extra efforts, those little sacrifices, do that for others, and not just for other kids. If your parents are cooking Thanksgiving dinner, that's a lot of work. If they're having people to their house, that's a lot of work. It's a lot of prep, it's a lot of cleanup, it's a lot of fun, but it's a big job that somebody has to do. Could you exercise a little extra courtesy that day? Hey, Mom, you've been working really hard today. Let me put those dishes in the dishwasher. Wouldn't that be amazing? How many of you think your mother might faint if you said something like that to her? That's a good sign that would be a fantastic thing for you to do. If you think your mother might be like, okay, what do you want? Why are you being like this? Why are you being so nice? That's a good sign that we're not probably practicing courtesy very often. So this week, I really want you to focus on putting others first. Take a step back. It's hard in the moment, but you're going to feel so much better about it in the end. Have a great short week.